Located on a hill in the rural outskirts of Hamilton, the New Zealand Temple was the 13th temple built by members of the church. Construction for the temple began in December of 1955 and dedicated by President David O. McKay in April of 1958. Chad Hawkins shares the history of the Hamilton New Zealand Temple.
The New Zealand Temple stands as a monument to Mormonism. It stands as a monument to the faithful saints who sacrificed to build the temple. As early as about 1928, the New Zealand mission president, President John Magleby, started to talk to church members about a temple coming to New Zealand. He said that the day would soon come when they would not have to leave their country, nor would they have to get a passport to visit a temple. So later in 1954, when President McKay was preparing for the temple in New Zealand, he asked a brother who was over all of the construction for the church in the Pacific, a brother Wendell Mendenhall, to find some potential locations for the temple for New Zealand. After visiting most of the church properties throughout New Zealand, he was not satisfied that he had found the right property. And then Brother Mendenhall had the impression that the temple should go on the property adjacent to where they were building the church college. They had property there, it was the center of the mission, and they already had equipment there on site that would be ideal for a future temple. So as he drove to the temple, he could actually see the temple in his mind's eye of what it could be and where it would be located on that hill. 10 days later, President McKay arrived to meet with Brother Mendenhall and look at the location on the hill. As they were standing on the hill, President McKay invited Brother Mendenhall to come and stand by him. And he said, "What do you think?" And Brother Mendenhall knew what he meant, and he said, "Well, President, what do you think?" And he said, "This is the place that the temple will be built." They only used volunteer laborers to build the temple. They actually called talented members of the church from throughout New Zealand, through the Pacific, and also all the way from the United States to come and serve and labor on the temple. The first year of the temple's construction, over 70 inches of rain fell as they were building the temple. And so these workers, working long hours, would arrive at the temple with extra pairs of clothes, and they would change their clothes throughout the day in an effort to try to stay dry. They worked hard, they worked long hours, but the problem was that the dedication and the open house dates were coming, and so they even extended their hours way into the night. The night before, they still had not finished the carpet and other things in the temple, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, they were literally installing the carpet, hanging wallpaper, and bringing in the furniture. But they met their deadline. The New Zealand Temple, since its dedication, has been a great symbol and a monument of faith, testimony, and to the strength of the saints in New Zealand, but also Australia and many countries, island countries in the South Pacific.
Thank you, Chad. For more LDS Temple stories, go to chadhawkins.com. Thanks so much for joining us today on Mormon Times, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.